Hello everyone, this is Debbie from Organic Oasis in Northern California. I harvested all of these gigantic cucumbers from our garden. Actually, we went on a short trip and I harvested them and put them in the refrigerator, and now I've got to use them before it's too late. So I'm going to go ahead and make this Greek cucumber salad using these wonderful cucumbers. As you can see, they're giant, and I let them go on the vine a little too much, and they got really big. But we could have more serious problems, can't we? So anyway, I'm going to put these in, and I'm going to put some tomatoes that we harvested, tomato Tim harvested, and I'll also be using some of my dehydrated oregano that I just dehydrated. And it should be fun and great. So let's get started. The first thing we need to do is peel our cucumbers. And so I will go ahead and peel these. I actually have this really cool peeler that I bought that sharpens. It has a sharpener built in. So I keep this nice and sharp. It makes it easy. These cucumbers, as you can see, they're called slicer cucumbers. I just did a video on 3 varieties of cucumbers for growing this year. And this is one of them. And boy, these cucumbers are beautiful. They're huge. And the peel is so green, and the cucumber is not bitter, and they're just delicious. And the biggest thing is they're huge cucumbers, so you can get a lot of use out of them. So I'm going to go ahead and peel these cucumbers, and I will be right back. So now that I have the cucumbers peeled, I'm going to go ahead and cut them into 1/4 inch slices. After you slice your cucumbers, you can go ahead and you can chop them into small little pieces. I'm just quartering my cucumbers. If you have big slices like this, you might want to do thinner pieces so that you get smaller pieces of cucumber. But basically, you can, it's up to you how big you want your cucumber. The recipe calls for chopped into 1/4 inch slices. I'm just going to quarter mine. I think this salad would be better with some more texture to the salad. I don't think cucumbers really chopped small would be very good. As you can see, my cucumbers, I harvested them, and then unfortunately my cucumbers got too big, and I was out of town. Tomato Tim and I took a short trip, and we got back, and I had these gigantic cucumbers. And when I went to cut them and use them, I realized some of them had gotten very seedy and bitter. And so what I did with those cucumbers was juice them, because there's some really good drinks you can make with cucumber juice. And then I took the sweetest ones, and these are the ones I'm using for this salad. So these ones should be fine. The other ones that got too big and had giant seeds in them, those got juiced. And when I juice them, it removes the seeds and actually the pulp too, and all I get is the juice. Then I can put the juice in all kinds of things, smoothies, different kinds of juice blends. You can make, I have a good recipe for a cucumber cocktail that's on this channel if you're interested in that. So the first thing we have here is the 2 cucumbers peeled and chopped. And I went ahead and sliced it first into 1/4 inch pieces and then cut them into quarters. Next, we need to add the 4 to 6, it calls for 4 to 6 Roma tomatoes chopped. And I have a little mixture here of tomatoes. I do have some Romas, so I probably will just go ahead and use those. I have 4 of these. So I'll go ahead and use 4 of the Romas. And then if I want more tomatoes, I'll just use one of my slicers. So we're moving on to the next step here. So the first thing I'm going to do is I did rinse these, and I'm going to go ahead and just slice off the ends. And I'm not going to, again, like the cucumbers, I don't think I'll be chopping these. I think into small pieces. I think I'll just be quartering them and leaving them in bigger pieces. So I have this one, had some end rod on it. I'm just going to cut that off. Sometimes this happens. This tomato doesn't look in the best shape, so I'll probably cut half of this. I can still use most of it though. Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and cut up tomatoes. Let me demo how I'm going to do this. So I'm just going to take my tomatoes, I'm going to cut them into quarters like this, and then I'm just going to do a 1/2 inch slice. And I think I'll just pretty much leave my tomatoes like this, just like this, and I'll just put them into my bowl with the cucumbers, and I will come right back. Next, we're going to put in 1/2 of a red onion sliced. So I'm going to go ahead and prep this so that I'm sure I'll be making another cucumber salad very soon because I'm getting so many cucumbers off of our 3 cucumber plants. So I think what I'll do is just save my onion like this. Okay, so in a few days, I'll probably be making another salad. So this, I'm just going to take off this piece. I like to take off the skin here. And I want this nice and thin. So we want the onion just sliced thin, as thin as you can. I do have a nice mandolin slicer, but I'll try to make do with my knife here. You know, I think what I'm going to do is cut these in half again and make 1/4 inch slices. That way, when you're eating it, you don't get such a big piece of onion. So what I'll do is just take the onion now and go like this and cut them to quarters. Otherwise, it just might be too much onion in one bite. So I'm just going to do this. And I'll show you what I'm going to do now. Here's the bowl. The onion's going to go right in here. I'm just going to kind of break it up. Of course, if you're not an onion lover, do not put in all this onion. It will not be good. Okay, so we have the tomato, the cucumber, and the onion in this bowl. I'm going to go ahead and mix it. It looks very pretty, very colorful. And now that I've got this mixed up, it doesn't look like it's too much onion. I think it's just the right amount. Very beautiful. Next, we're going to make the dressing for this delicious Greek cucumber salad. And I'm going to be using this wonderful olive oil. It was just given to us from our son who just came back from Greece. And I don't even think we can buy this here in the US. But it's lovely and I can't wait to use it. So I just got this, got to open it up. And so it calls for 1/4 cup of olive oil. And I'm just going to pour it right in here using this as a measure. So 1/4 cup is going to be right here. And next we're going to put 1.5 tablespoons of lemon juice. If you've watched my videos, you know that I use this Santa Cruz. It's really good. It's organic, unless I have fresh lemons, which I do not today. So I'm going to put in 1.5 tablespoons. So here's my 1 tablespoon. And I'm going to go with 1/2 tablespoon. And if I put in too much, it's okay. I love lemon juice. Love it. Okay, so now I'm going to put in some red wine vinegar. And I'm going to be using this Pompeii organic red wine vinegar. Just picked it up at Safeway. Nothing special. And 2 tablespoons. And so we got that in here. And 2 teaspoons of dried oregano. And I'm so excited. I'm using my own dehydrated oregano. I just did it in July. So 2 teaspoons. Just going to put it in like this. It will soften and the flavors will mix. And it will be wonderful. Okay, so now what I'm going to do with this is I'm going to pour it. I will mix it a little bit in here. And I'm going to pour it into my salad dressing bottle. That way I can shake it up really good and really get it mixed up. Okay, so now I'm just gonna give it a good shake here. Doesn't that look good? Now it's really coming together. You can also use just a ball jar or any container with a tight fitting lid. Okay, so now all we do is we pour this dressing over, and I'm not going to pour it all. I'm probably just going to pour a little bit and then wait and taste it, because I can always, like I said, if I make another one of these salads, I can use the dressing. So now you just mix it up, and you're going to season it now with salt and pepper. And the author of this salad said they think it's really good with extra pepper. So I'm just going to go ahead. I'm going to put salt and pepper on it, and then I will taste it and decide if it needs more. Now the salt, I'm going to measure out the salt, and I'm just going to measure this way, 1 teaspoon of salt, and just start to sprinkle it. And I probably only put on, yeah, half a teaspoon. And then I'm going to stop. And I'm going to mix it up again. And then I'm going to taste it. Okay, so now I'm just going to try one of the pieces of cucumber here. Try a little tomato. It could use, I don't think it needs any more dressing. I think more pepper would be good. And maybe a little bit more salt, but not much. I'm just going to do a pinch more. Okay. So now we add a half a cup of crumbled feta cheese. And I'm just using this brand that I picked up at the grocery store. And I bought it's Mediterranean herb. And I just thought it'd be fun to try that. So here's my half a cup. I'm just going to sprinkle it over the top. Next, we add olives, but the black olives are basically up to you on if you add them, and if you want to add them, what type you want to add. So the author just of this recipe basically says pitted and sliced to taste. And the author actually said that she likes to use just basically like regular black olives, the same like you would put on a pizza. I'm using Kalamata olives. And what's wonderful is, along with the olive oil that my stepson gave us, he also gave us, because he just went to Greece on a trip, he also gave us some wonderful olives right from Greece. However, they have the pits in them, so I'm not going to use those in this dish. We're just going to eat those as a snack because they have the pits. Now I'm looking at this, and I love olives. I'm thinking of putting in more olives, just a few more on top. I may just put them all in because this jar is almost empty, so why save a little bit? Okay, so now I'm just going to mix it all up like this. And again, just to let you know, like I said, I did not put all of the dressing in this, and I'm glad I didn't. There's a lot of juice at the bottom of this coming out of the tomatoes and the cucumbers, and I just don't think this salad needed all of that dressing. So I have some of the dressing left over for when I make this salad again. The Greek cucumber salad is finished, and while I was making it, I also used my air fryer to cook an entire chicken. So now we have our dinner ready to go, and look at how healthy it is. And man, this salad is wonderful. If you like Greek salads with all those Mediterranean flavors of cucumber and tomato and Kalamata olives and feta cheese, lemon, you will love this. It is so delicious. If you like these type of recipes, please follow Tim and I at Organic Oasis in California. Happy harvesting.